Welcome back to Sports Talk with Dad. As always, my name is Kyle, and I cannot call this Sports Talk with Dad without the man sitting next to me. A man who looked at death and said, "Not yet." My dad, Tim. Are we done with the nonsense?
Are your kids done?
No, okay. Not the kid's fault this last time. Here's 3 weeks you were sick in the month of December. That started with my children. That's fair.
And
This last time, you got the kids sick.
no, they were carriers.
No. Nonsense.
It was.
I'm done with you being sick.
Is that good? You could hear it on the show last week. Well, the next day,
Gone.
I had no voice. I mean, Kermit the Frog sounded better than I did. But hopefully
Or the southern version, as you were about to say, the frog.
the Frog. Yes, hopefully we're done with that. We weren't together last night, but did you watch the game?
Of course I watched the game.
It was outstanding. One of the better title games I've ever seen.
In Miami, I don't think there was a Miami fan there.
Indiana traveled well.
Yes, which is more proof, by the way, that Miami needs a stadium on campus.
Yeah, so they can become part of the Big Ten.
No thanks.
It'd be another.
Listen, I didn't have a dog in the fight. I didn't want either one of them to win. I made that clear. But Indiana just proved money can buy you a championship.
If you've got the right coach, which Signetti was.
Signetti was the right coach. Mendoza was the right quarterback. And Mark Cuban's money did a lot to help.
He was at the game.
Of course he was. He paid for that team.
So he's going to go to Vegas, Mendoza.
Mendoza, yes.
I've heard comparisons today that I think are a bit of a stretch, but Elway-esque, Luck-esque.
You know, I think you have to ask the question, do you think he can become the player that other players one day will be compared to? Because it's unfair. He's going to be his own guy.
Yes.
You know, and I think he's going to be a great player. He checks all the boxes. He's smart. Seems like a great leader, extremely talented, has all the intangibles. I think he's going to be a really good NFL quarterback with the right coach.
With the right coach, and give him some players on the offensive line that are going to protect him.
He's going to the Raiders.
Yes.
But he could come back.
No, I think he'll go to the Raiders. I mean, he's done with college. He's done all he can do. His draft position will do nothing but drop if he comes back.
Right.
Or stay at number one. But I think he's going to go to Vegas, and who are they going to hire as a coach? That's why we have Russ Landy here today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The one and only great friend of the show, former NFL executive Russ Landy. Russ, how you doing?
I am doing outstanding. So pumped to be talking to you guys, although obviously seeing that shirt, a little depressing to see that as a just feeling bad for you after what the Bears did to him. But hey, it is what it is.
Listen, I'm still a fan. I'm still here. The Bears lost, which makes me happy.
Made me happy, but I was expecting them to fall apart in the second half because they had done it so often. So let's start with the elephant in the room. They re-signed Matt LaFleur, Ed Policy's first big decision. What's your reaction to that?
I really think a lot of this decision, and my guess is, comes down to the belief in continuity. And I think, and truthfully, I don't know, or it could be completely crazy. The fact that Aaron Rodgers came out and praised LaFleur publicly, I think those two things probably played an influence. I mean, when you look out there, over half the coaches that get hired end up getting fired within 3 years. Mm-hmm. And I think they look at it and say, we've made the playoffs under this guy pretty consistently. We may not love how it's gone. We may be frustrated, but there are a lot of teams that would kill to be in our position. So I think they've decided we're going to give them an extension. But I tell you what, if the floor comes out the next 2 years, there's not going to be any more time.
Right.
So I think it was more about, we don't want to have a lame duck year, which I don't agree with. I think as a president, you should be able to do that, but that's their decision. I think it's more about that and continuity. I don't think they're putting a stamp on this saying this head coach and this GM have been so spectacular that we have to keep them.
Do you think a part of it was they looked around and there was really nobody they'd rather have other than LaFleur?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. They may have looked at some of the candidates and said, this is the way we're going to want to go. Now, would they have made the same decision had they known Harbaugh and McDermott were going to be out there? Don't know. But I think my guess is once they, as a board and policy, had said this is what we're doing, they weren't going to alter that because of things that happened. So I think they felt comfortable. And in the NFL, oftentimes that's what gets done. Are we comfortable? Do we like this guy? Do we feel that we are a team that's going to regularly be in the playoffs? Yes, then we'll keep who's here.
But have the Packers been in the playoffs regularly? Like, if you think about it, right, the last 3 years, the Packers have been the 7th seed. 4 years ago, we weren't in the playoffs because the 7th seed didn't exist. And to continue to blow games, this year we had the lead in the fourth quarter 9 times and lost or tied all of those games. I mean, at what point
Trust me,
do you look at
I'm not
this and say
saying
enough is enough?
I'm not going to bat for this guy. At the same time, I'm also not going to bat saying that Love has proven himself to be a good starter at this point. I think he showed this year that there's a lot of major concerns about
Yeah.
whether he can be a frontline starter. So my guess is they probably said, hey, Love is going to be the guy in 26, no matter what. So we're going to keep this coach, and Love and the coach will probably be married for this year and for 27. But if those 2 years don't get better, all of them are probably gone.
Well, what's crazy to me is there's no stipulations on coordinators being changed. I mean, obviously, Jeff Hafley has left, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. And so we'll need a new defensive coordinator. But other than that, on the offensive side of the ball, the side of the ball that has really hurt us the most, we're staying pat, and special teams isn't changing either.
You know, it is a little bit odd. My guess, and I don't know, is the head coach might have just said, hey, if you don't want me, get rid of me, but I'm not blowing this thing up for you. I believe in these coaches.
Yeah.
And he probably put their feet to the fire and said, if you want me to be here, you got to let me pick my coaches. You can't be involved.
Let me ask you this, and I know you have a question too, but why is, because all you hear from national media is this is one of the top 5 play callers in the entire league and this and that, but nobody talks about the negative side in the second half of the ball game. What's this infatuation with Matt LaFleur as a play caller?
Well, I think they like the creativity. I think they tend to overlook the not getting it done in the second half. They see some of the cool stuff and unique things he does. Um, and I think maybe, and this is just a guess, they hear from other people that this guy's doing some good things with. There's some people in the league that tell me they think Love is a bottom tier quarterback.
Really?
Yeah. So if you're hearing that in the media from some NFL people, that maybe you're saying, you know what, this guy's done some pretty good stuff with the guy that a number of teams don't think is a top 15 quarterback. Now, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying I know there are some people around the league that have told me they think he's the guy that you really want to look to replace as a quarterback, not a guy you want to go to bat with.
Well, hey, listen, after seeing Malik Willis play in this offense when Jordan Love got hurt, it made me start to think, hey, is Malik Willis the better answer for the Green Bay Packers moving forward?
Well, the problem becomes, and this is, the rumor out there is that because of John Eric Sullivan and Jeff Hafley, that Malik Willis is going to be down in Miami come March. And I mean, hey, you guys have seen it. There's a lot to like about this kid as a talent, and as a kid, you're not going to get a better kid. He's just a phenomenal young man. So
He's amazing.
yeah, so I mean, there's a chance this whole thing could blow up in their face. It's a really risky situation. I'll be interested to see if there's any chance they do anything to keep Willis over the next 2 to 3 months.
Willis is a starter in this league. I think he's proven that with the chances he's had in Green Bay. But let me ask you this. So Matt LaFleur's got to look in the mirror long and hard. He's seen that the leads slip away in the second half, unless he's a complete narcissist and egomaniac. How does he address some of that, and what can he change so that they don't blow these leads? And would he ever consider bringing in a Mike McDaniel to be his OC so he becomes more of a CEO head coach rather than the offensive coordinator / head coach?
I mean, I think, and I've never met the guy, I've never spent any time with him or anything. I think he's obviously a smart guy. You don't get to where you are and be this successful in terms of creativity and stuff. I'm sure he sees this problem. And I'm sure he is going to spend this offseason addressing whether it's him changing his style of leadership, whether it's their entire organization changing the way they're going to do things. They have to teach that team that when you get a lead, you don't just try to win the game. You try to put your foot on the opponent's throat and crush them and kill them. Certain teams have a unique ability. If you look at, and obviously everybody can go back and point to the Patriots, but if you look at the Patriots those years, when they got up, they finished games. And they did it when they sometimes weren't even the best team.
But they tried that against the Bears. The issue is it's like you're just obsessed with throwing the ball now. Like you've gone so non-conservative that you're making mistakes in the other direction. It's just it's this weird conundrum every single time we get into games like this.
But I think they're going to look at the film and the data this offseason. Sorry, what did we do? We had 9 games where we basically screwed the pooch, right?
Right.
What did we do wrong in these 9 games that teams that won games that were winning in the second half did differently?
What have we done in every single playoff game we've ever lost? I mean, it's been the same story for 7 years. Again, I know I'm going off. I'm very frustrated with my hometown team right now. This just doesn't make sense to me. You had coaches out there. You knew John Harbaugh was there, which I don't agree with John Harbaugh, but you did have Kevin Stefanski out there, which I think would have been a great fit here in Green Bay. And we're just like, nope, we're going to keep going.
It's a hard thing. I really think that it's hard to sell a franchise, the fan base. Hey, we're going to blow out a guy who's gone to the playoffs 3 straight years, whether you like it or not, as a 7 seed, over a coach in Cleveland who, and I think Stefanski is a phenomenal coach who got them there with nothing.
Right.
I think that's an awful franchise in terms of providing players to the coach. And he's found a way to get them to the playoffs and be coach of the year twice. But I still think it's a hard sell. The team won 5 games this year. Last year, they missed the playoffs. I mean, it's a hard sell to blow out your coach who's gone to the playoffs 3 straight years to bring in a coach who's missed the playoffs 2 straight years.
Okay. Well, let's end our pain in Green Bay. Other than one quick question, where do you think they go for defensive coordinator now that Hafley is in Miami?
Ooh, that's a tough call. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that are sitting there available that are DCs that are just freed and clear to go get. I think they're going to have to look at position coaches around the league or go get a veteran guy. I can't give you one name that jumps out to me that says this is the guy to pinpoint and go after.
It will be Joe Witt Jr., who's our defensive back coach. I mean, it's a hire from within. It's what Matt LaFleur does.
Well, we'll find out. We'll see what he's been told.
The other names we've heard are Raheem Morris, friend of Matt's, Al Harris down in Chicago, former Packer, obviously. There are some people here who are Wisconsin sycophants for saying Jim Leonard's still out there. Go and get him again. I don't think Leonard's got any chance after he spurned the silver platter that the Packers gave him the last time when they hired Joe Barry instead.
I have an opinion on him I'm going to hold back till later, but do not be surprised to see him in a very special position next year. I think Jim Leonard's seen very differently in the league than we realize. I mean, but we have an expert here that would tell us.
No, I agree with you. I think Jim Leonard is very respected around the league. I think he's going to be one of the names discussed. I do think, like you said, it's most likely going to be a promote from within because the reality is they gave the new head coach, or not the head coach an extension. They gave the GM an extension. Guarantee they told them, hey, this is on you now.
Yeah.
We want to win, but this is your ball. So I'm sure they said we will veto some names to be the DC, but they've probably gone over 4 or 5 and said, let's go figure this out if we lose Hafley.
I think policy gave them enough rope to hang themselves, but
100%.
Let's talk about some of the other openings now. There's 4 that have been filled in Atlanta and New York, Tennessee, and Miami now. What about the other openings? Let's start with Pittsburgh.
I mean, to me, Brian Flores or Mike McCarthy are the 2 guys that jump out to me. Mike is a Pittsburgh guy, so I think they like that. To me, Brian Flores makes a lot more sense. This guy's a great young coach. Yeah. He's got that Pittsburgh sort of aggressive demeanor. I think he would be a star coach there. I'm not sure how Mike would do. I really wonder how Mike would do going there. You put him there without a quarterback, I'd be very nervous. Whereas Brian goes there, even though he's not going to have a quarterback, you know that defense is going to be the best it's been in a number of years.
Yep.
To me, he makes the most sense there.
All right, I mentioned him before. What's Pittsburgh known for? The last 4 coaches they've had, what did they have 4 coaches in their entire history, I think, at this point?
Since 1970.
Since 1970.
It's a merger.
What do they go for? They go for a defensive-minded coach who's an unknown assistant, right? You have Jim Leonard, assistant head coach and passing game coordinator in Denver right now. He fits the perfect mold for what Pittsburgh likes to hire.
He does, without question. I think I would assume he's going to get an interview, but I don't know. Something about Brian Flores, having been there for a year.
Brian Flores would be the perfect hire for Pittsburgh.
I something makes me think that's the guy if they can make it work.
Or does Brian Flores look at Baltimore and think, I've got more over there, that's where I'd rather be?
You know, to me, I don't know which one's really a better job other than Lamar Jackson, because I don't know if Baltimore's team is much better.
Mm-hmm.
They just happen to have Lamar.
Right.
And Lamar's been hurt for 2 straight years.
If you look at Brian
Now,
Flores, though, what he can do with young talent, right? Because, I mean, look what he did with the Vikings all these years. He really hasn't had anybody where Baltimore's young, right? And he can do a lot with that. Pittsburgh, they're done, right? You got TJ Watt as one of your youngest starters on that team. I mean, you're kind of in trouble on that side of the ball.
No question. I don't think either is a great situation because I think Baltimore, it's hard. I mean, you have they're not going to change much of the offense because this guy's won MVP twice.
Mm-hmm.
The offense is going to stay the same, which means he's probably still going to get hit. He's going to probably deal with injuries. I don't think their defense is very good. I think they're missing a lot of pieces. Obviously, the Steelers are like 400 years old. It's an interesting situation also because we know Pittsburgh is going to give him a long leash, whoever goes there. Whereas Baltimore, we have no idea. Their GM, Eric Acosta, has never been in charge when they've hired a head coach. Wow. He was the assistant GM when John was there with Oz. So we don't know. What if this thing goes sideways the next 2 years? Does the owner have patience, or does he say, you know what? It wasn't Harbaugh. It was the front office. We're wiping the slate clean. Whereas if he goes to Pittsburgh, it's pretty much a guarantee he's going to get 4 years.
At least, yeah.
At least.
I'm still rooting for them to hire McCarthy and then bring Rodgers back for 1 more year.
That would be great.
Oof. Be great TV. Yeah, it'd be great
TV,
TV, that's for sure.
We like stories. That would be
honestly, if we talked about Malik Willis before, I think Pittsburgh is one of the spots Malik Willis is looking at. And if I am Minnesota, I am paying Malik Willis whatever he wants and just saying, listen, we did the J.J. McCarthy experiment. We're done.
Yeah, I mean, hey, when you think about it, Minnesota's in a bad spot. Yeah. I was talking to NFL people the past few days. If they don't get a guy, or if McCarthy doesn't become the guy, I think everybody there is fired next year.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because you think about it, Sam Darnold walks out of the room, right? Kirk Cousins, you may love him or hate him, he was better than what they had this year. And Daniel Jones was probably better than what they had this year, and he's not very good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're in a bad spot, in my opinion. They've got to get this quarterback thing right, and I wonder if they have the courage to say, we missed on this quarterback. We're going to spend money on another guy. I don't know if they do.
I think you have to. I think with somebody like Malik Willis sitting out there ready to be grabbed, you can get him for $15 to $30 million a year, which for a quarterback these days is a bargain. And how dare you say bad things about Indiana Jones, by the way? I love that guy.
Of course you do.
But I think you have to go after somebody like that. He's a huge upgrade. JJ's just not the answer.
But the problem is you're going to have them, Pittsburgh, Miami bidding. That could get into the 40 or 50 million.
It could.
Right.
But if you're Miami, though, it's worth it. I mean, you are wasting
for sure
Justin Jefferson in his
Minnesota.
Time. Minnesota. Yeah.
Minnesota.
Didn't I say Minnesota?
No, you said Miami.
Said Miami.
Sorry, Minnesota. For Miami, it's worth it too, but you can't pay Malik Willis that much money because you have an $84 million cap hit sitting there that's never going to play a game for you again.
So let's keep moving on. Cleveland. The battle of who cares.
It's a really tough spot because it's so almost sort of sad when you watch it. It's almost like Calvin Johnson-esque when you see Miles Garrett
Mhm.
and you just see the years ticking off that career, and you see what he's doing, and you see how little there is around him. And don't get me wrong, they've hit on a few picks here and there, but overall, that's a bad team.
Yeah.
If I were them, I'd be trying to find some guy who is, and this is where it's crazy, some guy who's really good at coaching quarterbacks, who's creative on offense. The Stefanski guy seemed like he was that guy.
Right.
So I don't know who you go get. That's the concern.
The
Do you?
problem
I
is
think,
that, Sanders was an owner pick, and Stefanski, let's be honest, he was fired because he didn't like Shador Sanders.
but you know what? He didn't play terrible.
No.
It
No,
wasn't like he was awful, and I think he'll still be in the discussion for the starting job this
he
year
should
if
be.
they don't find somebody else. So the whole thing doesn't make sense. I just,
You think it'll be
I don't
like
know.
a Clint
Who do you,
Kubiak type or
Mike McDaniel.
that's what I would be looking at, and I'd be looking for an offensive coach. But like McDaniel pulled his name out tonight
Did
for
he?
him to, yeah, for him to say I'm out
wow.
tells you there's some probably dysfunction going on there. I think it's going to end up being Jim Schwartz, their defensive coordinator. I think they're going to promote him, make him the guy, which I love. I think he's a hell of a defensive coach. I think it's going to backfire on him.
Mhm.
And I think a year from now or two, depending on how bad it gets, they'll be looking for a new head coach. And at that point, they'll probably get a new GM.
Okay, what about Buffalo, who does have talent?
Well, the rumor is Brian Dable,
That's-
which is stunning to me. But I guess he's tight with Josh Allen, and their offense was good when he was there. Um, to me, I mean, that team personally, where is the talent? I mean, what do they have on that defensive line? I mean, you can't get a consistent passer. To me, that is the perfect place you go get Brian Flores because you think a team, he's going to get them playing with more attitude, playing aggressively. He's going to get the guys who aren't great, like Epinenza, who's a hard effort guy. He's going to at least be able to get the whole team to play with that type of effort. And maybe they can get by until they can get some more talent.
But what would
To
they do
me,
for Josh Allen?
Do your job.
well, to me, you get Brian Flores and let him bring in a creative offensive coach. But you got to be careful there. To me, that's a really, really, I mean, I don't know what McDermott could have done. I mean, what else can he do? I mean, he's literally putting together the team with glue and paper clips and trying to keep them together so they can win some games.
Well, and they should still be playing. I mean, if it wasn't for another game starting, and yes, this is the conspiracy theorist in me, but like the fact that they didn't take a longer time to look at that play, he clearly caught the ball. He was clearly down, and we know that he was clearly down because one night later, Devontae Adams has the exact same situation, and they say he's down. They took 3 seconds to look at that. They were rushing through that game. They had already pushed the kickoff of the San Francisco game.
This conspiracy theory brought to you.
He was
by the
down.
Yes,
Lions
exactly.
Society.
He was down. And if he's ruled down, they're kicking the field goal for the win, and McDermott's still playing. Like I agree with you. He won. Like people look at Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and think, hey, you have these guys, so you should be a playoff team and a Super Bowl team. This isn't basketball where one guy can make all the difference in the world. They have no defense on either team.
By the way, the difference in the Buffalo, he was on his back. Devontae Adams' knee went down.
Okay, I'm sorry. 1 foot, then 2 foot, then knee, then on his back. But somehow that's an interception and not a catch. I don't.
You want to referee this?
Trust me, all I can tell you is when I saw it happen live, I thought it was a pick. When it was replayed, I was like, who the heck knows?
Right.
And that's the problem. They need to have a clear 100% definition. This is how we're calling this. They should literally put together 8 or 9 of those plays, which there's been over the last 8 or 9 seasons, put them out there and say, this is the same play. This is the rule from now going forward. No debating, no anything. Because there shouldn't be discussion after a game.
Nope.
We should know what it is, whether they want to say this is always a pick or always a catch or always an incompletion. I don't care. Just make it so it's consistent every single game.
I agree. All right, Arizona seems like the job nobody wants because you don't know what's going to happen with Kyler Murray.
Which one's worse, Arizona or
Well,
Cleveland?
I think you know what's going to happen with Kyler Murray is he's not going to be there.
No.
But do you want to go to a team that they are real? I mean, Kyler Murray, and they have the 4th pick 2 years ago, and they basically take a skinny tight end in Marvin Harrison Jr. who can't run. Now, is he a bad player? No, but he can't run.
You're talking about an Ohio State wide receiver legend. I want you to be careful.
Yeah.
There's a difference between being a legend at that second-rate school
Yeah.
and an NFL player.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough gig. I mean, I was just talking about that one with someone tonight, saying, what type of gig is that? You're going into a place with no quarterback, not a lot of talent anywhere on the team. That's a tough one. I mean, to me, you better go get an offensive guru because you're going to have to develop some quarterback.
I mean, Gannon was. The fact that Arizona won as many games as they did with Kyler Murray, I think, is a testament to how good of an offensive mind Gannon truly is. I mean,
And remember, he's been a defensive coach his whole life. That's what's so impressive for Gannon. I mean, I honestly think it's almost unfair that they threw him under the bus because he had to play with this 5'9" quarterback who he's not good enough.
No.
He just isn't good enough as an NFL quarterback. It's a tough spot. I mean, I personally would have loved to see Stefanski gone there. If I'm them, I'm talking to Mike McDaniel hard. I'd love to get him in there because at least maybe you can get a quarterback who is efficient, smart, and accurate, and Mike can make him something. Because I think Mike's a heck of an offensive coach. Really creative, really smart. And I think he did some good things with, and I liked Tua when he came out of school, but he's never been the guy consistently. And he did a heck of a job of building around a quarterback that's stiff, that gets hurt. I thought Mike did a heck of a job. I think he'd be a great head coach for Arizona.
How about Vegas?
And I will say this, above all of this, we're talking about all these openings. There's one coach better than all these guys sitting out there who wants to be a head coach. Better than all these guys. Now, I'm not talking Harbaugh or anything, but John Gruden's sitting there. John's a phenomenal coach.
Yes.
You want a good coach. I mean, if you're the Raiders, bring him back, give him the kid from Indiana, and let him roll. I mean, he'd be a phenomenal addition as a head coach. The guy knows ball. He was the last rate. He had him on the verge of getting back to winning regularly.
I was just going to say, that team was primed to start making some runs with Derek Carr and everybody else. I mean, he had them ready to go. Antonio Brown was there for a second, and then he lost his mind. But that was a solid team. He got screwed. I'm with you. I also think a big coach name that they're not talking about, I could see Tom Brady wanting Josh McDaniels back. Not Oakland, in Las Vegas to work with him. I mean, look how much he's done with Drake May. Look what he did with
the guy's incredible.
Brady.
When you think about Tom Brady, Matt Castle, Garoppolo, he wins Rookie of the Year for Mac Jones, Drake May. If I'm the Patriots, I don't even debate it. As soon as the season's over, I say, okay, Coach Vrabel, you're making 13. Josh, we're paying you 11 as long as you'll sign a contract and stay here as long as Mike's the head coach.
I agree.
Because
I mean, yes,
clearly he's not a head coach, but the guy's a great quarterback coaching coordinator. Great. Not good, great.
Yeah. He's one of those guys like Wade Phillips was a great coordinator.
Yep.
Not a head coach.
Norv Turner.
Exactly. And, I'd love to see McDaniel go to Green Bay and run the offense. Anybody run the offense.
He's truly, I mean, he's the only way you make him a head coach again is if you get two guys and you get them both to agree to work for $12 million. You have a head coach offense, head coach defense, and that's it. Because the guys who,
Buddy Ryan thing.
Yeah, it does. Because he's a great coach. He just isn't that leader. I don't think Tom would bring him back to Oakland because of all the disaster. I did get told that Davis wanted to hire Gruden a year ago and bring him back, but that Brady and the higher-ups really sat and convinced him not to. So to me, why wouldn't you go back and say, hey, clearly you guys are wrong.
Right.
But the problem is Gruden's not going to come back with Tom and Tom's GM.
No.
He's going to want to come back and run the show.
Yep. And how spurned does he still feel? I mean, I don't know what's going on with the lawsuit. I know they settled outside. Are there any stipulations on coaching in that situation? I mean, do you know anything?
He would come back. He would come back in a heartbeat. He would love to be. I don't think that coach would be a good fit for him. I think you mentioned Brian Flores. I like him there. I think he's a really good fit. I think Clint Kubiak's a guy to keep an eye on. His dad was in Baltimore and successful. I could see him being a good fit. Come in, tweak that offense a little bit. That to me, those are two guys that make sense. I thought McDaniel would have been a good fit, but I don't think they want to go down that road. I don't think that that's their type of guy.
I tell you what, you bringing up Flores in Buffalo. I mean that.
Oh,
I think Flores is the best coach on the market. I think
he's phenomenal. Other than Gruden, I agree.
Gruden, different ball game. But
yes.
Of coaching candidates that are actually on the market right now, because I don't think anybody but the Raiders are going to want to hire Gruden. Flores would be such a good fit in all of these places.
He's a great coach. He's got that. And I know there are people that said Miami, he rubbed some people the wrong way, but a lot of coaches that first gig, they have their issues, right. But he still was winning most of his games. He had a winning record. You give him a chance now, especially in Buffalo. They've got the quarterback. That team is going to play with that edge that they need. Not that Sean didn't get them to, but just a new face. Hopefully get some more talent in there because they are lacking. And I think he would win and win big.
Well, Flores rubbed people the wrong way. One, you gave him a quarterback you never wanted.
Yes, no doubt.
Say in the drafting of that quarterback. And two, he clearly found out that you were trying to go behind his back while he's still on the payroll to bring in Sean Payton and Tom Brady. Like, yeah. Maybe he rubbed people the wrong way. I think you guys rubbed him the wrong way a little bit in that situation.
No doubt. Yeah.
It's kind of a two-way street.
And he's been a good citizen in Minnesota. People love him up there.
Oh, everybody in the league loves the guy. I mean, he's a great dude, a great coach. I mean, he'll kill it wherever he goes, whether it's this season or next season he takes a head coaching gig.
All right, Gruden in Vegas. I'm all for it. And Flores in Buffalo.
Flores in Green Bay is defensive coordinator.
Never gonna happen.
No, I don't think so.
Russ, we appreciate you as always coming on.
We got one more question though. We have to have him pick the games.
Okay.
Big games. Denver with Stidham, who I'm actually excited. I think he can do it versus New England. Who do you got?
I like Stidham. I really think there's talent there for one game, but I'm not going to bet against McDaniel. I mean, if it were Bo Nix, I'd take Denver because I think their defense is going to be a bear. Just like Houston's defense, if Stroud doesn't turn the ball over, they might win that game. Yeah. So I honestly think if Stidham can avoid turnovers, I think it'll be real close. But I got to take the Patriots. And I hate to say,
it's in Denver.
I know it is. I know it's gonna. Trust me, I think it's gonna be a good game. I just think Patriots will win. It's hard to win with a backup quarterback. And I think Seattle. I hate to say it. I think they're gonna boat race the Rams. I hate to say it. Yeah, I think it's gonna get ugly fast.
No. Darnold's legit, man. Darnold is proving why he was the number 3 overall pick.
Yeah.
The Jets wrecked him. He did great in Minnesota until his offensive line forgot how to block.
Yeah.
The last 2 games. I think Sam Darnold's a real deal. I'm with you.
Look, the Rams have won me a lot of money over the last 2 years.
I was right on the last 2 Rams picks.
Yeah, I
First
know.
time in 3 years.
I'd like to see Stafford, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua go out and at least win in Seattle.
I'm rooting for them to win. I just think, I mean, Seattle destroyed San Francisco. Now, San Fran has no defense, but
that game was over before it started.
Well, and now
yes.
Seattle's out with their starting running backs gone.
Yeah, Zach Charbonnet is gone. Kenneth Walker is there, but I don't know. I just have a feeling they're going to be very, very hard to beat.
All right, so you've got a New England-Seattle Super Bowl.
Yep, my preseason pick of Houston-San Fran did not come true.
You're close, though. Houston, like you said, had it. Let me ask you this for a last question, because obviously I'm a big Stroud fan, him being from Ohio State. Is Stroud the problem, or do they just need to get him an offensive line?
You know, that's a great question. I honestly don't know. I think it's probably a little bit of both. Yeah. He obviously was great as a rookie. Last year, I thought he was still pretty good, made a lot of big plays, but missed some throws he should have made. This year, the inconsistency has been stunning. I think they have to figure out the offensive coordinator, and they've got to get some guys on that offensive line. I mean, they let Tunsil go last year. I mean, I don't care how weird he is. You keep your left tackle. He's an elite left tackle. And they give him a chance. Give him one more year. If he's the same next year as he was this year, move on. But he's so gifted, and add in, he may be one of the best human beings in the league. So it's
He's
like,
amazing.
yeah. So you can't run. You put it this way, and I hate to say it because you got that G on your shirt there. There's no debate between him or Love if you're asking who you want. I'm taking Stroud every single day. There's so much there that he has a chance to be a true superstar.
See, that's
But
what I think too. He just needs. He got sacked 67 times this year.
he needs a line. I think he needs a quick hitting passing attack, and it would help if he had a running back. I mean, Chubb, I love him, but he's done for being a starter. And Marks is a good, solid backup, but they could use somebody to help take the load.
We'll see if Mixon comes back next year. That'll help him out a lot.
Yep, for sure.
Russ, as always, thank you so much with all of your amazing insight. We really appreciate coming on.
Of course, guys. Love being on, and I look forward to hopefully being correct this weekend, and then we can talk about the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir. All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, fellas. Have a great one.
He did not disagree with my Jim Leonard theory. I just want to throw that out there.
As always, he didn't disagree, but he certainly didn't agree.
But he didn't disagree, which gives me credibility. It's a former NFL exec thinking
Yes, you've got
I'm a smart human being.
sure.
You let us know what you think in the comments below, and while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get to enjoy this show as much as we enjoy making it. Russ does nothing but fill my ego, and I love him for it very, very much.
I love Russ because he is the smartest NFL guy you could possibly want to talk to.
He knows ball,
He knows ball.
and I don't think he's ever been wrong.
Look at how he did on the draft we did. He was right on everybody.
Literally all 30 picks he nailed, or was one player away and his backup got picked. Unbelievable. But you and I have had a great show. But as you all know, you cannot have a conversation with your father without your dad getting the last word, so it is all you.
So Russ Landry said one thing that is absolutely true. This is the final rodeo for Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst and Jordan Love. They all better pull together and show that they're the real deal, or this experiment, and especially with Jordan Love, is going to be done in another 2 seasons.
Sometimes I hate that I give you the last word. I have so much still to say, but we'll have to save it till next week. Thank you, as always, so much for watching. This has been Sports Talk with Dad. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.